So if you check her background, you'll find that she bartended at one time, correct? Yes? Say yes.
Yeah, she was a bartender before she...
However, they conveniently left out that she not only bartended, but she danced at the fucking bar that she was in. Because it was a strip club. And guess who knows the owner? Let me close my mic. Fuck you, Amir.
Guess who knows the... Oh, damn.
Who knows the owner?
What?
Trump?
Probably Point.
No, I mean, considering she was in New York, right? Trump was big in New York. Real estate, strip clubs. That could have been anyone, honestly. There's a lot of Jews that work in this industry.
And the craziest part is that so many have hyphenated last names or changed last names. I think unless you yourself are Jewish or been raised around Jewish people, you would never even know that the people are Jewish.
Yeah, like Jack Ruby, who killed Lee Harvey Oswald. His real name was Rubenstein.
You know, I did not know that until recently.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. The Jewish mafia is a thing. You see, mafia, people think Italian right away because of the movies and whatever. But the Jewish mafia was a real thing. That's what started Las Vegas, actually.
You ever seen Peaky Blinders?
Oh,
no, I haven't watched it.
It was
Peaky Blinders is really...
You know what was good, and they kind of snuck it in, but didn't really give you too much on it. If you saw Chadwick Boseman's movie, I think it was called The Bankers, and this my grandmother actually attested to, that when Black folks would try and get loans from the banks, they were often denied. But European Jews would act as intercessors, and they would lend Black folks the monies, or they would, secure notes for them, and they were later lauded as, friends and allies and the whole nine. But if you speak to old school Black folks who have nothing to gain or lose from telling the truth, they will tell you that, oh yeah, the Jew man, they would call him sadly, the Jew man would come in and he would help baby, but he was going to charge us upwards of 20 to 30% more in interest. But what choice did we have? I had an elder talk about a European Jewish merchant who would come through the black neighborhood and sell these really, really, really beautiful dresses, very well made, very well tailored. But he had a card, he would sell it, when Jay-Z talks about they would sell stuff on credit. If you weren't careful, and the old ladies would say that they would call their children, from the back just to make sure that they weren't scammed. This is so sad. That if the dress cost $50, 6 entries would say $50 month after month after month, even though individuals had paid on it, it would never reflect the deduction of their payments.
Oh, and so it's kind of like Rent-A-Center.
I don't know. I've never done Rent-A-Center before.
Yeah.
But what hurt me is that these are little old ladies who the world today, if they were a little younger, would call anti-Semites. But they're just talking about their lived experience with crooks. Straight up crooks.
What you bringing that up about the Black community and the Jewish community, they also lend to historic Black colleges too, and they'll tell you, oh yeah, we're the only ones that lend money to historic Black colleges, but they don't tell how much interest they charge, and of course they're gonna go to them because no one else was loaning them money to start their Black college, right? They weren't allowed to go to regular colleges, like to a college that like Harvard or anything, so they created their own. How much interest they charge?
You know what's frightening? I think that and I think I'm really going to do this. It's not even a joke. I think I really need to sit down with elders, with Muslims, with different people from different backgrounds, and just ask them to speak about their lived experiences. You know why? Because as a Jewish person, as someone born and raised within Jewish community spaces, there are things that I can put my hand to a Tanakh and say I experienced, that I watched other people experience. And many of those things would create the balance that's needed to talk about what's really happening and what's really happening. Like that, how as opposed to what people are pretending. It's like, you want to talk about somebody who literally wants
Wait,
a girl.
was that Point's real voice?
What?
Someone who had a hot mic. That was Point's hot mic, and that was her real voice.
No. Point always uses his real voice.
That was.
No, that was a manly voice.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Oh my God.
I heard
That
that
was
too.
a manly voice.
First of all, mind your business. Get out of my living room because there's people listening to you. Second of all, Jen did two things. Number one, AOC, can you stay muted? I didn't interrupt any of you. So number one, Jen did. AOC, yeah, you can laugh on mute. AOC is, she not only was a bartender, but she was also a dancer. Yeah.
She's already doing some saying the same
And
shit.
the second thing, shut up. Second thing is, you want to know about the Jewish mafia. Someone mentioned that. It is still in existence. And you can watch a movie called Naked Singularity, and they'll show you who's moving the heroin. It's real, and it'll shock you. And it's going to shock you.
I know. First of all, AOC, I like her. She's great.
Look up the movie Naked Singularity. It was shot during the pandemic. Fantastic movie. Yeah, it's gonna blow your fucking mind. Yeah.
It was sophisticated for me, naked singularity. I don't even know what that means, but I know AOC's ancestors are from Spain and they are Hasidic Jews. That's for sure. But that's not a.
Whoa, are you serious, Jen?
Yes, I am.
Wait, let me talk clear on it.
Yes, she has some Jewish blood.
Yeah, she's a Jew.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that as in any negative way. I mean, I don't know much about her politics, and she's from New York, and yes, so she does that a bar. So what?
It was like a Bernieite at some point.
Yeah, you know Bernie Sanders is a Jew too, right?
Well, I know Bernie Sanders is Jewish, and he kind of flip-flops every now and then too. It took him a long time, which I'm never going to forgive him for, to come out and denounce what was happening in Gaza. And then, like, once he finally did it was after it was, like months and months in, you know what I mean? But I didn't know that about AOC. That's some deep shit right there.
Sanders, I mean, he did speak up. He's got, I mean, I know his influence is marginal in American politics now because he was sidelined by the Democrats and he was just marginalized. But he's been speaking up. I mean, I haven't seen.
No, lately, I'm saying what I was saying is that I expected him to come out the gate, and he was criticized heavily for not saying what he needed to say earlier. Again, I'm not saying whether that makes him good or bad or ugly, but at the end of the day, it really would have been nice.
How much does he get from AIPAC, and how much does AOC get from AIPAC? Does anyone know?
I have no idea. I'm not sure if AIPAC.
I've never had any idea. How come you don't know these things? Why don't you go look
I
it
didn't know
up?
you got anything.
I'm gonna sound like Ted Cruz saying, I don't know how many people live in Iran.
Yeah, you never know anything. Why don't you go look it up and come back and tell me?
I'm not gonna look up anything. That's like
so you support the Zionists? Yes. You don't want to know.
That's a little. It's a waste of my
I don't want to
time.
know. That's what Zionists say. Yeah, it's a waste of my time. Yeah, you guys are undercover.
Why do you have to be so antagonistic? Why can't you just bring the the information to the table, would it hurt?
Do I fucking work here? I don't fucking work
Yes,
here.
you
She's a Zionist.
Let's Shannon start paying points for her.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do work here. Yes, you do work here.
Come on, $5 a piece, guys. It's not that much. Don't be cheap.
No. But for somebody who doesn't,
Bring anything.
for somebody who
Bring
doesn't
anything
work
here.
here,
Shit, I don't work here. I don't have to bring
Okay.
my lunch.
Yeah, we can employ you.
How much?
Well, we're each gonna pitch in $5. It's your job to convince people to pitch in $5. The more people you can convince, the more you're gonna get.
Sorry, I don't bring shit here. Fuck you all. Go look it up. Bernie Sanders gets approximately, go fill in the blank. AOC gets, it's all online. It's public information. How the fuck you don't know what I'm telling you? That's why they're not speaking out about Gaza. That's why Harvard, Yale, Princeton are fighting so hard.
Wait,
That's why.
AOC gets funding from APAC point.
Now you tell me, I don't know shit.
My chickens need feed, and I can't get feed. How do I go about solving that problem?
You guys don't care about the kids in Gaza. They just want to be on Clubhouse.
Oh,
What? I have a question for you.
woo!
Hold on a second. Let me get some lemonade, then I'll answer your question. But go ahead, I'll listen.
Okay, so
It would really be interesting to find out who gets what from who in real time.
Well, go look it up. He said he had a question. Why are you interrupting?
This is related to you. The point, like historically, when empires bankrupt, they throw Jews out, so all their debts disappear. Do you think that these KKK guys, MAGA people, are throwing Jews under bus because they're going bankrupt? Think about it. Right now, if they gather all the Jews and kill them, nobody cares because of anti-Semitic that Jews are created. Do you see any pattern here that like U.S. is going bankrupt and they're kind of, and
I
Jews
mean,
are
what
just
you're
like
describing sounds very, very much like Nazi Germany.
Who was the question
Yeah.
for? Who was the question for?
Point. If Trump is Hitler, which is behaving like one, do you think that he's doing this to Jews?
It could be, and I'll tell you why. The Balfour Agreement and the shipping of Jews from Europe to this territory called Israel was an anti-Semitic act. Why? Because they wanted the Jews out of Europe. They were anti-Semitic right there, the Europeans. So they're like, get these motherfuckers out of here. So initially, anti-Semitism started from the writers of the Balfour Agreement, from the people that shipped those people to Israel. That was all anti-Semitic. I don't know if you know that. That was all behind anti-Semitism. I hope I'm not telling you something you're just finding the fuck out. Because you got me fucked up.
If you are a Jew in the United States, be careful who you are trusting. And I know you are careful, but be very careful.
And the American economy is upside down. If you saw the reports this morning, retail is down negative 0.9%. I repeat, negative 0. It wasn't even that low during the fucking pandemic. All right? And so Japan has trillions of U.S. bonds, and so does China. So you're correct. America's fearful right now because if China or Japan sells its bonds, it's a wrap. Immediate recession, depression, the whole economy turns upside down because it's already upside down already due to the tariffs, which have not been settled till now, up to now. So yeah, there is some potential in what you're thinking, Wei Fan. But why don't you elaborate more for those that don't have a fucking clue what we're talking about?
ICE is getting militarized. They are going around gathering people, and people are angry because they're gathering Hispanic. If they start gathering Jews, everybody's like, hey, yeah, go ICE. Nice. And then they are starting a war in Middle East. Everybody's blaming Jews for that. If they gather Jews, they will say, "Oh yeah, Jews are motherfuckers." It's not like it hasn't happened before. This exact scenario has happened before. So. And Jews are in charge of banks, and the one that they are the one who holds a lot of this debt. If you throw them out, a lot of debts disappear. Everybody has it.
Possible because the American Federal Reserve, which most Americans don't even understand, is controlled by Zionists. We know this. The Rothschilds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, banking industry. So yeah, America's held hostage by that. So I don't know. Seems to be working out just fine for them. Meanwhile, the American populace is fucking clueless.
Say that one more time.
Fucking clueless.
All right. See, who is smarter than Jews? Racists. Racist people are smarter than Jews, so. And they always win, unfortunately.
So do you think Trump is a racist?
No. Trump is my darling. No, he's not racist. He hates actually white people.
Well, I think Trump is going to invade Israel and Iran, take over both, and build hotels all through Iran and Israel. That's what I believe is going to happen. Remember, he said he would just take Gaza. Well, the way you're going to just take Gaza, motherfucker, you're going to take all of Israel and invade it and say it's an American territory. Then you're going to, but before you do that, you're going to allow Netanyahu to use Palantir and blow away the whole Iranian regime. Oh, yeah. That's what Trump said. Trump said, he gave it away when he said, oh, something bigger is what he's working on. So he's going to take Israel, he's going to take Iran. That's what I believe.
Point, why do you think the Holocaust really started, and why did Hitler target Jews?
Is that like a serious question? Are you trolling or you don't know?
I'm not trolling. I'm asking you, what do you think is the real reason?
It was the same reason I gave regarding the Balfour Agreement. The Jews were a problem. They were doing economic gains and doing things that just became a problem.
Yeah, that's not why the Balfour Declaration.
Excuse me. They were creating a problem to other people, or what people construed as a problem in terms of how they operated, how they did business, et cetera, right? Good, bad, or ugly. It was a problem. So then they were pushed to the side.
It was more financial than it was anti-Semitic.
I just said it was financial. I said business, how they did business. All right? Then people became jealous of how they did business. So that's why it became a problem. All right?
Jealous of how they did business?
Oh, God.
Hey, can I let a rabbi answer that question for you?
Go ahead, Rabbi.
Yeah, I'm just going to find it real quick.
I don't even understand the question. You don't know what went down then?
Oh, no. I have a very, very strong idea. I had someone actually tell me, an old German Jewish person tell me that Kristallnacht was more about burning financial books than it was about burning Jewish books.
Of course.
Who knows the first two laws that Hitler implemented? Hitler, first two laws that Hitler implemented that not only
this is Rabbi Mizrahi.
Not only
No,
would him
Rabbi Yaron.
need a different fact than everybody else in the rest of
He's a
history,
crook.
but also made what's called until this day the biggest financial miracle in history. Who knows the first two laws? Before the Nuremberg laws.
Didn't have
Before that, we're talking about years before it. Hitler first comes into power. What's the first two laws? Okay, I'll save you the time. Rule number one. No more pornography. No more homosexuality. None of that garbage. Not allowed. Berlin, in the 30s, in the 20s, was the Sodom and Gomorrah of the day. They were the Las Vegas of the day. They were the Sodom and Gomorrah of the day. Homosexuality, pornography, all the bestiality, all the garbage of the world, that was the capital of the world. He outlawed it. You're no longer allowed, closed all the bars, all the gay clubs, all the production, which were all run by Jewish people. Unfortunately.
Damn.
Second rule. What's the second rule? Second rule was you're not allowed to charge interest. No more interest. Now you would think, why? What does he care about interest? Well, because all the people that had the money, that lent the money out, were Jews. He didn't like it. You said? Got it?
That's correct. So, that created, excuse me, that created a lot of jealousy and that's when they began to separate, create ghettos, so on, and then ultimately, after the Holocaust, et cetera, which all led up to that, and then after that, then it was okay. Let's get rid of these people. They're a problem, and it was other European countries that were in on the plan. It was anti-Semitic plan, right? So don't be fooled. You know, read what you read, but think for yourself. Learn to think for yourself.
So how were Jews a part of the Nazi Party initially? How'd that work out?
People are divided. People are easy to influence. And so, I'll give an example. Look at Iran right now. Didn't you see they caught almost 8 Mossad agents, right?
Yeah.
So that would mean what? That would mean there are many elements within Iran itself that are complicit with Zionists. Don't you get it?
Look at this. These Iranians that right now are gonna regime change, they are Nazis. They are Aryan blood.
Exactly.
To them. When they come to this room, talk to them. They literally believe Arabs are lower race. They are Aryan Nazis.
Wait, say that again. They believe that. Say it again. That Iranians are what?
No, they believe that generally non-Jews are lower than that. That they're the good.
No. I'm not talking about Jews. I'm talking about Iranians, which want to bring Prince of Iran to Iran. Like these Iranians.
Oh yeah, Iranians also think Arabs are lower than them. Yeah.
These Iranians. These
I was told they believe that they're Aryans, like the Nazis.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Well, I mean, look, the term Aryan does come from Iran, like Iran, like that area, but that's not how the Nazis used it. Like the Nazis didn't look at the Persians and say, "Oh, you're our blood brothers." No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
I've actually read that in a few spots.
I've never read anything like that.
The grandfather of this prince was the grandfather of this prince that wants to go to Iran and free Iranian people. He was the ally, like the closest friend of Hitler. And now they are like Netanyahu and his grandson are shaking hands. Ask them, really literally ask these Iranians which come here, what do you think about Indians? What do you think about Arabs? They are racist as fuck.
I mean, look, a lot of people are racist. I don't doubt that.
No, these are
this is like Aryan racist.
They are Aryan racist. They are really racist. Ask them, and now they are aligned with Jews in Israel. They are
Some of them. Don't say all. It's not all of them.
I actually have a question. So if you did a survey in America today to say high school, I don't know, like let's say 18-year-olds or young adults, and you ask them to put Iran on the map, what do you think the percentage of? You can't. Did you say they can't?
Mm-mm. I taught middle end. No geography at all. None.
I went to school with Iranians in America. So after the fall of the Shah, so I know all about Iran and Persia and the Holocaust and 1948 shipment of people to Israel, all of that. So I don't know what to tell you.
In fact, students in Nigeria
I'll give you an example. As a 100 years from now, someone's going to do the same thing you're doing right now and say, wait a minute, how could Black Americans never have spoke out about Gaza at that time when they fought so hard for the ending of apartheid in South Africa? It makes no sense. And then you'll have to dig deeper 100 years from now to find out that the black voices, the black politicians, were in the back pocket of AIPAC. Who knew?
Well aware of that.
Who fucking knew?
Yeah, no. I knew that.
Well, it's the same way you had Jews associated with the Nazis. So that's to answer your question.
Fucked up shit.
You know about the Levy, right? How they actually proposed a formal alliance in, I think it was 1943.
Insane. What I read in that book Perfidy is that there were German Jews, secularists, who sold their own Jewish brothers out to the Nazis.
There was that too.
Huh?
Yeah, there was that too. That as well.
They had an opportunity to get people out and let them come to Israel/Palestine, and they said no. They didn't want a bunch of low-life degenerates. That's a quote.
Actually, that's kind of a myth, by the way. They weren't going to Palestine or Israel. The majority of them. The majority of Jews that left Europe at that point in time went to America, not to Israel.
Well, no, they said that they went to South America. That many of them went to Brazil, and many of them
went
to
Argentina. Yeah, in South Africa, and but the majority of them did not go to Palestine. The majority of Jews that would end up, doing the Nakba in 48 and establishing the state were already there by the time World War II started.
That's correct.
So when did the most of Jews, and we got to use that term kind of loosely, when did Europeans first start entering into Israel en masse?
So
Was it after 43?
No, this is Tsar time. When Tsar lost to Japanese, they started going after Jews. And this is like before even World War I. So they start migrating.
There was some migration. Yeah, there was some migration. The first Aliyah was in I think it was 1890 something. But the bigger numbers of them were after World War I, so after the Balfour Declaration.
Something about that doesn't jive though, because they were saying that there was already this core group there.
Yeah, there were aliyahs made during the Ottoman Empire, but the Ottoman Empire also recognized what they were doing. The Zionists lobbied the Ottoman Empire to try to buy Palestine. They refused at first. I mean, they kind of conceded by the end, but they were really against it. They did not like it. They did not want it to happen. They actually offered them Iraq instead. They were like, why don't you just go to Iraq? And they were like, no, we want Palestine. But after the Balfour Declaration and the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, that's when the numbers started ramping up. The Jewish Colonization Association, JCA, which has changed its name but retains the acronym JCA. I forgot what it's called now. It was being funded by the Rothschilds, and there were plenty of people, Jews, that wanted to get out of Russia because of the collapse of the Soviet Union, and Germany and Poland and all of these places. There would have been bigger numbers if the Soviets, after they finally took control and ended the Russian Civil War, they were staunchly anti-Zionist, despite the fact that they were majority Jewish in terms of leadership. But they were anti-Zionist Jews because they wanted to keep the Jews inside of Russia. That's a good thing for them. And they had just a general, you're not allowed to leave the country policy. So the numbers would have been higher if the Russians collaborated. And that's why you saw, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, a huge number of Russian Jews migrated to Israel in the 1990s.
So that I do remember. I remember Nyana. I remember supposedly the Refuseniks, which was also very interesting because most of those individuals proudly, once they got to New York and other places, claimed that they weren't Jewish at all. They were just taking advantage.
That is quite possible.
Of that ticket.
It's quite possible that a lot of the Russian Jews that got out of the Soviet Union weren't actually Jewish.
Yeah, I definitely did see that a lot, especially in New York. And actually, I saw that with the Jews supposedly from the Ukraine.
Right.
But that, they weren't Jewish at all.
But they walk around with the yarmulke and payouts.
No, they don't. They walk around with fur coats and benefits, but nope. No Shabbat, no kosher food. I would watch them eat pork.
I used to see them at JFK, man, in Terminal 2. They used to tuck in their payouts. They used to put a baseball cap over there. Yeah.
Nah.
And they used to tuck in their ZT and go get a cheeseburger at Wendy's.
No, Russians are gangster. When they got here, they were like, fuck Judaism. Fuck the bullshit. I don't have anything to do with it. They literally, and that was another thing, most of them weren't even circumcised. Like, they came with flapping foreskins. Like, that's crazy.
I'm going to be honest with you, Sister Ezzy. I got pictures and videos to prove it. I used to see them walk in there. They used to put a baseball cap on, preferably a Yankees hat.
I see them. Those are not Russian Jews. Russian Jews never even put on a kippah.
And it sounded like Russian to me. I know Pliviet is Russian. It's one of them Slavic languages.
I didn't care nothing about being Jewish.
You know?
You guys are racist. You all are racist in here.
I'm talking about members of my community. It ain't got nothing to do with racism. They'll tell you themselves.
It's everything to do with racism. If you really want to know anti-Semitic, like you can go a little even back in, I think 19th century, half of like 1850, there is a European spring. Like for example, there was an Arab Spring that suddenly all countries went to revolution. So there is a 1 year that many countries in Europe like suddenly become free. And it's because of potato. There is a potato disease and hunger comes and people, we want freedom, we don't have potato. So after that, they have to create an idea, okay, we keep out the kings, what should we do? So the French came up with the idea of nationalism, and it's called scientific race theory. They created literally a theory, a race theory to create nations. And that is the basis of all racist people. They go back there and then they say, in order to have a nation, we need to have a race. And then they say, okay, if we have race, so why not our race is better than other race? And then it's all about racism. Anti-Semitism is basically a racist idea. Jews are a lower race. That's
a bunch of bullshit. That's built on a fallacy.
No, really, these are actual history. What I told you, freedom is a result of potato. That's why I call myself a potato. That's the exact reason we have potato is because we have. No, the reason we have freedom is because of a potato.
There are rumors going around that Iran actually tested did a nuclear test, some kind underground nuclear test, like yesterday. They
did some what?
Nuclear test.
Yeah, I think I read something like that this morning too. Are you talking about like these things that they're doing? These missiles that they're firing is just kind of
No. What is called a cold test, which is like the preparation to assemble a bomb or something.
No, that's not what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's a good question.
Fired are like the calm before the storm.
Well, no, this is a good question. So, if Iran woke up tomorrow morning and Iran is declared as what do you think?
If Iran declares they have a nuclear bomb, They should have announced that
No, I'm just saying, like, if they announce it tomorrow.
I don't really know. I don't know. I am not sure. I think
And can I ask a question? Does anybody really believe that having a nuclear bomb is going to be able to hurt some and not all? That's kind of silly.
I don't know how advanced the nuclear technology is, but I'm sure there are nuclear bombs that are small in size, I guess, that can destroy a city or something. I don't know. And not destroy a whole...
Like Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
I mean,
those bombs are highly inefficient, by the way. Modern day nuclear weapons are much worse than that.
I don't know anything about the stuff, but by now the nuclear technology should have been is much more advanced. I've even read somewhere that you can have a nuclear device next to your house that can operate for 1,000 years to give you heat and electricity and so on and so forth. But it's not safe for someone to have a nuclear machine of any kind anywhere if it's not under control. So the technology itself has been refined in such a way where I don't know what the term they use, but you can have a nuclear device that is very tiny in terms of its capacity, but they can also be extremely devastating for large swaths of land and areas. I'm not sure, but I would assume that the technology itself has been refined over the years.
I was just talking about containment. Like if someone dropped a bomb on Iran or Israel or whatever else, you can't exactly contain the
When you're talking about radiation?
Yeah.
No, there are nuclear bombs that don't have radiation.
A fallout, that's what I was
Is that true? There are nuclear bombs that have none or very little radiation?
Yeah.
I never heard that. But okay.
No, the challenge of nuclear bomb is that if one person drops it, based on war theories, everybody should drop all. So it's done. Like U.S. drops all its bomb on Russia, Russia drops all its bomb on U.S. And it's not which countries are fighting which country. Like based on theory, you have to hit all the capitals of the world at the same time. This is the challenge with the nuclear bomb. If one, independent of who drops it on who, right now if Israel dropped one nuclear bomb on Iran, then based on war theory, Russia should hit every capital of the world with a nuclear bomb simultaneously. Otherwise, it will disappear. I mean, the science of it, I don't understand it, but if you do the math, that's how you have to respond to a nuclear attack.
But brother,
anybody attack anybody.
To what Benny Adam was saying, there's no nuclear bomb with zero radiation, by the way. It really depends on the bomb.
That is nuclear bomb, is radiation. That's how it kills people. It's not just the flash blast, it's the aftermath, it's the radiation. It's, the rain was killing people days and weeks after, sorry, I can't focus, but Eze's right. What happened in Vietnam, what have they tested on since then? So how advanced is this? Unless they have proof.
Dying of cancer today.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at U.S., let's just look at U.S. All the children that's parents were, murdered, we'll just say that, during Vietnam, they all came here. And I talked to someone, and they all have the same name because the president or whatever the guy, the king, I don't know, I'm not familiar with Vietnam history, I'll just be honest, but they were all named after him because they were all orphans and they didn't know their name. So their family lineage is wiped out, and they were all named after him. And I mean, I could put the name in the chat, but that's why a lot of Vietnamese have the same name. It's not because they're related, it's because they were orphans, and that's the name they were given.
And I saw literally a plane full of babies sitting in each of the seats. Yeah, let me look for it. It was really deep. It was called Operation something, and that was how they saved supposedly the orphans of Vietnam. They don't talk about how many kids died. But
So there are fusion nuclear bombs and there are fission nuclear bombs. So fusion ones have much more radiation than fission, like uranium and hydrogen. So it's still hydrogen has radiation, but not as much as uranium.
Yeah, the radiation is like minuscule compared to fission.
Great, but let's not turn this generation into a testing field. Okay, everyone's saying, "Oh, just nuke them," and it's like, really?
They already are.
That's how you feel.
Let's be honest.
No, I don't really think that's going to happen. I don't even think that the U.S. is really going to take it on. There's already news out saying that they're backing away from it.
The U.S. is the most outlandish colonial state in the world, if you ask my opinion. If you look at the attacks that we've made on other soil and things that we and our allies have created in war and tested on other nations, it's disgusting. So I hope not. I hope you're right. I really do. But with the height and the ego that's in office right now, it's dangerous. It's very dangerous what's happening. I don't know if you guys are watching the congressional in the House talking to immigration. I forget her name. She's called the Ice Queen, the Barbie Ice Queen. Anyway, the conversations that they're having in our Senate and what they're saying to these people that Trump put in office, and the look on their face when they're telling them how, disgusting their office is and how they're over budget and that, and just the no expression on their face. They have an agenda and they're going to see it through. And none of us are privy to it. Maybe some military are. But when people call me radical and I'm a conspiracy theorist, it's like it's only a conspiracy until history books are written about it. So I'm just going to keep praying for the people in Gaza and especially for the people in the region and mostly for U.S. because the last time we saw an attack on U.S. soil has a lot of conspiracy theories attached to it, and a lot of American citizens died and a lot of people were hurt and a lot of people are still hurt because of the asbestos and the cancer and all the mess from 9/11. Our government, we're just cattle. They've said it during COVID. Herd mentality, they're all going to get the shot. And now you look at these trials for these Pfizer and Moderna and what's happening. Like, I don't want to go on a tangent, but you guys talking about, nukes this, nukes that. It's just really, really frustrating to hear people talk about it so loosely when we have historical data of what atom bombs and nukes do to people. I'll just say one last word. I'll say one word and then I'll land. Chernobyl.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys heard this, man, but they just sent the USS Nimitz and Carl Vinson up to the Middle East.
Yeah, they said they're there for defensive. Not good.
No, it's the reason why I say that is interesting because the USS Carl Vinson is a 7th Fleet ship which serves Asia. So to see them move it to the 5th Fleet is kind of interesting. Yeah, they sent the Princeton, the Millis, the Stratton. That's great. Send some heat out there.
You know what? If we even had any reason to believe that these people had a moral code or compass of any type, that would be one thing. But we know they don't. It's one big video game for them.
Netanyahu has been poking at Iran and trying to paint them as the aggressor for over a decade. He's been, making accusations about Iran and their military and what their agenda is for a long time. So he has his own agenda in the region, and whatever that is, obviously, to make it Israel, because that's what he does, is colonize. It's it's happening right before our eyes. And it's like, what is anybody doing? The thing when we say free Palestine, do you know what that actually means? It means, are you willing to die for this shit? Like, literally. I'm considered a domestic terrorist by Trump's terms because I'm willing to say free Palestine in the face of whoever. It's crazy. It's freaking crazy. There's people imitating ICE, kidnapping women. Like, it's out of control.
Senators in broad daylight. It's another one.
Facts. Like, what is happening? And what, everybody's just compliant with it? Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. Like, if you think of the 60s and 70s in the U.S. and how, I mean, I seen everybody out in the street. I'm trying not to get emotional. My friend was murdered this weekend. I don't care. I'll tell you guys, I live in Utah. My friend was murdered this weekend at the No Kings protest, and the shit's just getting real. He was a family man. You know, a family man murdered.
Wow.
And what? Trump's just at his happy little military parade? Like, what the fuck is happening, you guys? I'm sorry. I'm going to mute up.
Today, I couldn't believe what I was seeing on television. Insanity. Right.
I mean, the irony is this. Like in 2005 or 6, the first, I would call them populist people like President Ahmadinejad came power in Iran. Then that led to Netanyahu. And Netanyahu is really playing it good. I mean, he has been in power for 15 years now. And then that led to Trump. And now that fires back at Iran. It's crazy. It's used to be survival of fittest. Now we are survival of dumbest. Now we are in a time that really the dumbest people are in charge of deciding the future of ourselves. I used to think our children, but this is the future of ourselves. Many of us should go up any second now. I mean, Taiwan now, military is everywhere. Right now, my neighbors, like the house beside us, is military. They are ready. I mean, anytime. I ran away from United States to here to be safe. Now it's so fucked up. It all comes down to Trump and Netanyahu now. See the joke that we are living.
Well, everyone says that, you know, Netanyahu is Trump's little bitch, right? But I think it's the reverse. I think Trump envies Netanyahu and how long he's been in office and how much access he has. And he's seen how he's just colonized these Arabs and Palestinians. And it's just like, it's like he wants to be them. He wants to have that power. And that's disgusting. That this is, you know, the American poster boy.
They are literally babies. They are babies. Netanyahu, this Trump. If you throw a BB gun at them, they run away and hide and cry. Look at where Netanyahu is. There was a case that there were like Punjab protesters out of White House. Trump went to the bunker. They are babies. They just love to come in front of cameras and shout, bomb them, kill them. And they have no idea. You know, the consequence part of their brain has not developed. You know, babies, when they are growing up, they don't know. Like, for example, if I touch this, what would happen? Because their brain doesn't have a consequence section. That part develops later in the age. Like, grown-ups don't do these kind of things. They have no idea what they are doing can cause, what kind of... It's just they cannot comprehend it. Just we have a baby in charge of our military. That's what it is.
Totally insane. And it would be one thing if there was a chance something could change.
I feel like it can, though, I feel like it can, because when you have tens of thousands of people out protesting and you have people like us in this room standing up to Zionists for whatever it's worth on a social app, right? Like, I feel like change can happen, but it can't happen with people that talk the talk but don't walk the walk. You know what I mean? Like, lobbying, going up to your senators. I don't know of anybody in this room that lobbies as much as I do, but during COVID, our musicianship here in Utah, we had no funding. They were funding Netflix, Disney, Warner Brothers, but the people working here in the sound and music industry and film, we got zero. We had to lobby for our funding. They were giving our money away, Utah dollars, giving it away out of state to people for Netflix. And it's just crazy to me until you walk up to your congressman and say, hey, this is what I stand for. I'm a voter in your community. Or you email the shit out of them and you're blocked and you can't email them anymore. Like, that shit was funny to me for Palestine. You know, like, it just takes one person to start a riot, right? But it also takes one person to change.
No, I get that. What I'm trying to say is that right now, the people who we expected to kind of stand up, meaning senators, congressmen, whoever else, they're on the take. And so part of this is literally going to be us figuring out who plays for what team.
So in the state of Utah, which I'm sure all government websites are pretty much constructed the same, if you go to the federal website, it's changed a lot since Trump took office. But there is a place where you can go and you can investigate your city officials and your government officials. You can find out what their spouses, where the money, always follow the money. You guys, I don't know, a lot of you don't know me, some of you do, but I've always said in this room, follow the money and you will find the corruption. It's super easy. It's hard to navigate the website, so maybe get help. But on your government website, you can find out where their campaign dollars are going, where their private money is going. Now, obviously, some people have hidden bank accounts, obviously, so you might not find every penny, but any tax return that a senator, a governor, a mayor, a city elected official, anyone on the legislature, anyone involved in government, if they're registered in your government website, you can go and you can look at their history, at their financial history, and see, okay, well, they took money from Pfizer, or they took money from Moderna, or they funded this specific thing, or oh, look at that, they're actually funding Israel. It's super easy. I mean, if anybody wants help, I'm happy to help. Just shoot me a DM.
I definitely would like to know. I mean, I'm back and forth, but
send me a DM for your government and I'll try to find the link on your website, and then all you have to do is type in their name. And it's complicated on the Utah side, so you have to have patience and be willing to go through it, because it's not just as easy as what did they file in 2018 taxes. It's not going to list it like that. They don't make it that simple for a reason, right? Because they don't want people to know what they're funding so that they can hide it.
I try to really get engaged in this political system in US. I love it, but I couldn't find it. I came to the conclusion that they hide it. They hide it so you do not find it. So only few people know how to play the game.
Hide
really, morning.
You said they hide what? I couldn't hear you.
Like, for example, I wanted to go to the city that I was living. I wanted to know, these places that they gather and talk about the city affairs. I couldn't find that place. Where do they gather?
You're talking about City Hall?
For example, no, when do they meet? That information,
your legislative calendar should be posted on any government website.
I tried.
It's called the legislative session. Give me a state and I'll find it for you.
No, I mean, it's so easy for you, but for many of us, it's not that easy. That's what I'm telling you.
I'm sure ChatGPT can. Let me test it. Give me a state, somebody.
North Carolina.
don't really know if you guys believe in this shit or not, but I posted 2 links. Start with the one at the bottom and then look at the one at the top. Very, very interesting.
Wait. Say that again.
Look at the links that I posted in the chat. They're shorts, you know, they're like 30 seconds, but they're very interesting.
I don't see anything, boo-boo. Oh, okay, I do see. That creepy anonymous shit.
I didn't even use ChatGPT. I just Googled legislative session, North Carolina. I mean, they're all pretty much standard. You know, they're not going to waiver. They might waiver by a couple weeks based on state holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And like when school's out, that sort of thing. But it's pretty standard. And the best thing is you can go right up to your Capitol. I mean, if your Capitol is public access, I assume it is. It's, you know, unless something's happened and they're on lockdown. But you can walk in and you can walk through, and each legislative room has a bulletin board on the outside, and it has the legislative calendar for what they're voting on, when they're voting, who's voting. It's like a docket, and it's public information. Like, it's not...
But nobody ever takes the time to look.
No, who has time when you're distracted with Instagram and Clubhouse?
Vibing, right? Yeah, you're right. I'm freaking right. All right, dog. Give me a second. I'm looking at these shorts. Wait, who put these in the bag? Chucky or somebody else?
Hey, morning. Can you check Corning, New York, like City Hall schedule? Can you find it for me?
What's the name of the city again?
Corning, New York.
My sound's being weird. Yeah, let me see. So the reason you're probably having a hard time is because it looks like they closed June 12th. So they'll start again in January. But they adjourned June 12th. And the funny thing is that, and this is, you know, I talked about this during the U.S. president-elect, is that people only vote every 4 years, but that's the fool's way to be involved, because there's things happening on a state level and federal, because we have Congress members within our state legislature, right, that represent our state on a federal level. So it's important to get involved quarterly so that you know what's happening, who's running, what they're voting for, what bills they're passing. That's why when everyone was up in arms that California passed slave labor, it's like, wait, you guys, this was passed on a state level before it ever went to a federal election. So pay attention. Always pay attention.
Interesting.
I like silence. It means you're all thinking.
Good afternoon.
No, and there's actually 3 videos.
Good evening.
I couldn't post the third one. I was just watching it, actually. Do you have one full video of the whole thing?
No, I'm really trying to find it.
But it's really interesting, yeah?
You think it's going to happen then? Attack on Titan 2?
I mean, it happened before, bro. I don't know if this is going to happen, but it definitely happened before.
That shit right here. Shit, great.
And he has a timer. It says 17 days.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to download those videos because that's just good. That'll get to do. Yo, Airplane.
What's up, buddy?
You good, man?
Amazing.
Am I still sus?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay.
This is a sensitive topic, bro. Everybody's sus.
The shit is so weird.
I still love you, though.
I feel I have died, and this is how you die, you know. The last times that you are figuring out you are dead, you don't know it yet. Just everything gets so weird. The shit is really weird.
You alright, Weaver?
I mean, everything
totally
is
off topic.
so weird.
Does anybody think that there's a conspiracy to take down Black billionaires? Did you guys see the situation with Tyler Perry today?
You actually have to
Yeah, I think it's a sham.
Like, seriously?
I think it's a scam.
You think it's a scam?
I think
I
so.
don't listen. To be very honest, I think there are people in Hollywood. A lot of them are Zios who know how to come for you, and they use sex and manipulation to do it. I just wonder, cause like that's a whole lot of millionaires within 6 months. No.
They tried to come after Jay-Z. They came after Diddy. And now they're coming after Tyler Perry.
Same time.
There's more than that. You skipped a whole bunch of Black Americans that have been run through the ringer.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just speaking on the ones that I could think off the top of my head. But like, I don't know, man. I just think it's all a scam.
What happened in our generation?
Starting with R. Kelly.
R. Kelly got here, and it's all the same MO. It's all sexual deviance.
Yeah, starting with R. Kelly, and then even after I watched his interview, or not his interview, but his Surviving R. Kelly, I think half of them the women were lying.
Well, I never tell a woman who claims rape or sexual assault lying. Do I feel like she may have been manipulated? Yes. But I'm not going to speak for suffering or trauma. Because that could be just as real under the same or similar circumstances. So be manipulated.
I get that though, but there's been a lot of innocent, Black men that are caught up, that got caught up in the system based off of a lie.
So I'm never going to say innocent. I'm going to say that Black people definitely are really vulnerable in situations like that. But I don't see any of them as quote unquote innocent. Nah, I can't go out like that. When I'm a former CEO, I'll be the first person to tell you, yeah, a lot of people got caught up in the system. I haven't met anybody who was innocent.
Innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Again, like I said, I'm not the alphabet saying. Let me put it this way. On Rikers Island, you can stay up until a year without ever being charged or convicted, right? So that means that there are a lot of people who are on Rikers Island as prisoners who just not yet had their day in court. I get all of that. But in terms of saying that the stars we're talking about, like Michael Jackson and R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, who else was there? There's a bunch of other people. What's his face? P. Diddy, all the rest of these dudes? That they're innocent? Nah. Were some of the women manipulated? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But you're not innocent.
Let's flip it though. Let's talk about Jasmine Crockett. You heard about her?
That she was guilty of fraud or something like that?
Yeah, so she comes out real aggressively against the administration, and then suddenly all this dirt comes out on her to discredit her for what she's doing proactively in our community to, make change. So suddenly now all this stuff is coming out about her, and it's not even sexual, right?
Right. But are you saying that she's innocent?
I'm saying that people make mistakes, whether it's deviant, whether it's, disgusting ass pedophilia, people make mistakes. Now, fast forward to someone like Jasmine Crockett who's trying to make change, right? Or I'm just using her. There's a couple other Black women in Congress I'd like to mention that they're trying to smear campaign to discredit them so people don't trust what they're doing. Mm-hmm. It's a way to use propaganda, right? Or truth to sway the opinion and the emotion of the people to be like, oh, well, we can't trust that individual because of the X, Y, and Z. And it's like, but they're on point, though. Everything they're saying, their argument, their debate is factual. It holds weight in court, but you're using a mistake out of their history to try and discredit what they're doing in today's government. Like, it's confusing to me.
They could still be good people who have made mistakes, but I'm never going to say that they're innocent. You get what I'm saying? Meaning, like,
no, that's true.
I can be a good person and still be guilty. And that's where I think we go wrong. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of blow smoke because, oh, look, this person is being attacked and this person is being targeted. Like in the situation I'm looking with Tyler Perry. You gave these bitches something. Bitches, I mean, it's government, these white folks. You gave them something to use against you. You thought you could trust. You forgot for 10 minutes you were Black. And now you're paying the consequences. Any person who applies knows at these days and time, they got to be extra careful because people are gunning for them. And if you still have, a gay relationship or whatever else that they're accusing, these people are of, you're Muslim and you have you're supposed to be holy roller Christian, and you're engaged in sexual deviancy. That does not discount all the good you've done, but they still gonna come for you, and they're gonna dare us to say that you're not culpable on some level. Michael Jackson gave away billions of dollars to charity. He was still weird. You don't need to have boys and babies in your bed. What the fuck? That shit is weird. And you're still a good person, but weird. Did weird shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think this is a conspiracy, man. Like Ice Cube said, man, sometimes our skin is our sin.
But two things can be valid at the same time. They have been gunning for you since your birth. As a Latino man, they've been gunning for you since your birth. Does that give you license to act like they haven't or that they aren't in a moment and do some dumb shit, giving them a reason to come for you? I don't know.
No, ma'am.
That's my point. You gotta be careful.
So how do you think we should move, so that way we can stay out their sights?
Honestly, I don't want to engage certain folks. Like, the moment spiritually I sent, if they on some shit, that's it. I mean, like I said, I walk around with the understanding that they're going to come for me. They don't like my politics, blah, blah, blah. But what I also do is make sure that I don't need for anything and I don't want for anything and that I don't have to come to these folks for one damn thing. Never be beholden to these folks. Never. Because they will come to collect.
Yes, man, because I wore this uniform, so I like to think I'm hiding in plain sight.
Not while you on Clubhouse talking about it.
That's a fact.
I mean, these people don't know who I am on Clubhouse.
You're okay.
Listen,
they can try.
the way that IP addresses work and voice analysis.
They can try. VPN.
You're right. But your device itself, like,
I don't know.
You know what's funny?
If you read the user agreement, when you sign up for these apps and what you give them access to, your camera, your voice, your everything. So unless you have tape over your camera at all times, and unless you only use this phone for Clubhouse. So I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Anytime I have to make a phone call or anytime I exit this app, because if it has access to my phone, my microphone, and I've read the user agreement, it is very interesting what we give them access to. Any app.
I read it too, sister. Morning. I don't make no phone calls on this app. I literally use this for Clubhouse. I'm actually getting ready to get rid of it soon. Once I get rid of this.
Whatever they're telling you they're doing 150% more. Just know it.
Yes, man.
They fired me from my job, so be very careful what you say. They fired me from my job because of what I said on this app. So they can find you and they can hurt you.
Yeah. They could. So wait for when they find me, they gonna give me a hug?
Now you're trolling, bro. That's not even funny.
Nah, I'm just saying. I ain't saying that they're wrong. I'm just.
I didn't say you did. I said you're trolling.
I think, and here's another thing. You could be completely good. You could be completely in the right. But just like AI can take your face and your voice and make you say something that you haven't said, them folks can too.
No. If you say something which is not in line with what they want to hear.
That's exactly it.
As long as you say something, like for example, right now, what we are saying is not in line with what they want to hear. So if you say something which they take you serious, they will come and fire you. You will lose your job.
Yeah.
I've surrendered to the fact.
Come in for the reason that they're actually coming.
There is nothing right or wrong. It's just that you cannot say something, and they make it up like, "Oh, you are anti-Semitic." What? I love Jews. I always protect Jews. I'm just saying, don't attack Iran. No, you are anti-Semitic.
You never know who's who and what.
It's a fact. You never know who's who and what's what. I like that.
What I do know is that God is the greatest, Allah Akbar, and his plan is the most high. Regardless of what anyone believes, your God is your God. I'm not infringing on that. I'm just saying, whatever you believe in, stick to that. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens is going to happen. And there's nothing I can do to control it. All I can control is where my solidarity sits and where my conscience sits when I go to the grave. And how many, people I impacted, good or bad. And hopefully, it's God have mercy, God show grace is all I can ask and beg for. Because at this point, America is wild. The UK is wild. Our allyship on a grander global scale, what's happening, I think that this has been something in the works for hundreds of years, and it's just to a boiling point where I'll refer to the game Risk. I've done this in this room before. In the game of Risks, the point is to conquer the world. And if that's what my country is trying to do, unfortunately, I don't align with that. And if that means that I have to pay the piper or face the music, whatever you want to say, then so be it. Like I said, when you say free Palestine, you better mean it, because you could die for this shit.
That's true.
I totally with you. I think we, as a human, there is no human. We are all animals. The only thing which makes us human is our values. And I want to be a human. I don't want to be in a petting zoo. I'm totally with you. Fuck it. I lost my job. I lost my art, whatever. But I still have my value. I think that really is what we need to live for. Otherwise, we're just in a petting zoo. They just throw money at you and they look at you and they just, you have such a fancy car. You feel good about it. So you treat those animals in the zoo, they don't feel good about themselves. I think many of them do.
Sister Ezra,
Yeah.
are you familiar with that Negro spiritual the song "Old Freedom"?
I know. I spoke. Want to sing it?
Oh, freedom over me, and before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord to be free. You never heard that one?
Yes, I have.
I'm just serious, ma'am, and I said that for a reason because I really believe those words.
I feel you.
Before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave. Take that how y'all want.
I feel you. You know what's a good for everybody to watch? Enemy of the.
You're kind of breaking up.
She said enemy of the state.
Enemy of the state.
Well, I can't watch movies like that.
Why?
Three-letter agencies might come. Three-letter agencies might come knocking on people's doors. I'm good.
Well, guess what? They ain't doing nothing in that movie. They ain't never shown before. Moment you sign on the dotted line, government starts singing, "Your blood is mine." Like a Michael Jackson.
But yeah, well, it's all good though. Don't worry, change will come. Coexistence will come. You know, our country will be back to normalcy.
They just make you believe it's the country. It's theirs.
Oh, it's mine. This is my country. This is our country. There is no white man that has more of a claim to America than we do.
Okay.
The Negro has been in America longer than the white man. I'm just being honest. The American Negro, quote unquote American Negro, this is their land.
Again, how much of it do we own today?
All of it.
Okay. You believe that. Don't pay your mortgage and see what the fuck happens. You know how fast they lock your ass out of your house.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Well, I just wanted to say, Sister Ezra, I'm proud of you.
why?
I've been clubhouse stalking you and going to a couple of rooms, and I love how you be maneuvered in these rooms on this clubhouse street.
I try to stay consistent.
Yes, ma'am. I be seeing Sister Ezra. I was like, oh shoot. Let me hop up in this one.
You so stupid. You so stupid. That better happen.
Chuck, you did not just tell her that you're stalking her on club.
Oh yeah, I be stalking her in these clubhouse streets. But all the rooms that she ends up going into, they end up being good rooms. Like,
oh, so that's why you stalking me?
Yeah, your algorithm is lit. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
No, I just don't actually. I think what gets on my nerves is when I go into certain rooms and Ashkenazi Jews who are not even Torah observant are presenting arguments, but they're not really in a position to argue. That bothers me. I gotta let it bother me less.
Yeah.
Like if I never lived in Israel, if I wasn't born and raised in the Jewish community, I probably wouldn't feel so bad. Idiots, even like the Santeria, says stuff like, "Oh, there's no such thing as racism. There's no such thing as white supremacy in white Jewish spaces." I'm like, my lived experience says something different. And until you become Black and Jewish, you don't get to speak for me or mine. But it's real.
And that's the same thing. They don't experience. They haven't walked through a mountain of issues, so that's why it's so easy for them to disclaim everything that you say.
Always some old, fat, nasty, cancer-ridden, hairy asshole who's got something to say. I don't even know these people, man. Don't want to. Like, you're just a ball of pus.
Just like I was in a room, and it was some Jews in there. We were having a discussion. I came in there to talk about the Torah Parsha for this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about the Holocaust and slavery, and how is it fair that, you know, African Americans, they get a whole month while the Holocaust was 1,000 times, you know, worse than slavery. Like, that shit's crazy. That's people's mindset. Some of these people's mindset.
Yep.
Anything going on?
What in the hell? Why is it? Oh, can somebody please get El Normo his pills?
Yeah, man. I just asked if there's anything going on.
I was asking for you earlier. Like, yo, where's Edward? Usually, like, he's laughing at the corny jokes right along with me. I felt lonely, Edward.
Yeah, thank that. That means a lot to me because I think there's a little troll in you too.
Absolutely. Fucking-lutely.
But
it's
I couldn't.
Fun to do it by yourself.
Fayez was running the room, so I couldn't like jump off the mic and because I didn't want to disrespect him, so I had to behave.
I got you.
You know how it is.
You bet. What you been up to?
What have I've been up to? I have been studying furiously so I could take the test in a couple of months for my certified supply chain professional certification. My government job after the freeze, hopefully it'll still be ready for me. No reason to think it's not. I got hired before the freeze.
Okay.
And you have to go through a background check. And then the freeze happened, so I wasn't, essential. But the crazy part is my job is essential. It's so essential that they're paying me. My salary is double than what it should be. It's in demand. Working for the VA.
I love it.
Wow, congratulations.
All the best people. You deserve it.
I didn't do it for you, Chucky. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for your service, Ed.
No. There's something.
For Uncle Sam.
America is not mystical. It's not a religion.
It is. It's a beautiful one. America.
Stop it. Are you going to cry? Are you going to cry?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
He actually has tears in his eyes when he says the pledge.
I hope he says paragraph 2. You know, the one where they talk about slaves?
No. They're not oppressed. No, right, Chucky? No, black people are not oppressed.
I'm not oppressed.
But you speak for all black people, right?
A national anthem that references.
I'm Dominican.
Oh, so you're not black anymore?
Well, I'm Dominican.
It's a running argument. He doesn't feel that black people or minorities are oppressed, and I told him he doesn't speak for all people, and it's not for his place to say if they're oppressed or not. Then he asked me if I'm oppressed as a white person, and I said,
I'm gonna play him a few Celia Cruz songs, bring him back.
But you remember Isaiah? Roots, the movie Roots, the series. They don't show that anywhere anymore. They don't show that.
Absolutely had the chutzpah to remake that movie.
Oh my God! That movie was so authentic, so raw.
And they you gotta be able to whitewash it. No pun intended, to make it more palatable.
Disgusting.
And look,
but Sister Eze.
Yes.
My name is not Toby. My name is Amos Shabazz.
Chucky, you need to watch Roots. No, and this anybody under 35 now doesn't even know what Roots is.
I've watched the whole series, man.
You watched it?
Alex Haley or whatever.
He is an amazing actor. He was Geordi on Star Trek too.
Yeah, that's why I said my name isn't Toby. My name is Amos Shabazz.
She is such an amazing actor. When I used to be able to see, I was able to pick up, even on Star Trek, when there were scenes where the cargo bay or something would decompress and the air would leave, and his body motion, his facial expressions, of him suffocating. He's an amazing actor. He can control his body.
What else got me to ever think about this? They had, what was her name? Oh gosh, what was the first woman in space? I can't think of her name. But there's only two. I haven't seen more than two, and one of them was blind. And then LeVar Burton's role on Star Trek.
Oh,
that of a blind man.
Geordie LaForge, you mean?
Yes. He can't see without his visor.
Wait, what was his name? His real name?
What was it? It's LeVar Burton.
I thought it was Alex something.
LeVar Burton, bro. Reading Rainbow.
Okay.
Rainbow.
Yeah.
LeVar Burton, he actually, and that's another thing. There's certain actors who refuse to compromise themselves, like when Dave Chappelle talks about not wearing the dress, like wanting to play certain roles and not others. So he plays Kunta Kinte in Roots.
Yeah.
That was his breakout role.
Right. But when you look at the roles he was willing to take and the ones he was offered, you know, like he ended up having to do like the whole electric company Channel 13 type thing because they would not give him roles that he felt were respectable.
And him playing a disabled person on Star Trek was because this is the future, so nobody's supposed to be disabled. And Gene Roddenberry's creation of the future was, you know, basically everybody nobody gets sick, everybody's happy, you know, there's no corruption, there's no nothing. They had to kind of change it in different series because it got too vanilla. And but
Star Trek?
Yeah.
Nah, bro. Star Trek's whole point was that, look, as much as we advance technologically and biologically or whatever, in any way that we advance, we still have natural human problems. That's why even from the first Star Trek series, they would have natural human problems, and human nature still.
No, the first Star Trek series was not about human problems. It was about No, it wasn't. It was about how women. It was about how women dressed scandally. That's what their uniforms were, and they were sexualized on the show. 100%.
You gotta look beneath the surface. I'm not old enough to remember the original Star Trek.
Look beneath the surface.
I know. And no, they did have an Asian, a Russian, and an African American woman. Yeah, they did have that.
I'm trying to think.
Captain Kirk was beating everything in sight.
He was banging everything.
Yes.
Sorry to go off topic real quick, right? But when you get a chance, right, read the Book of Amos and tell me if you see any similarities of what's going on today. That's actually why I changed my name to Amos, and then I just took Amos's PTR to be funny. But yeah, read the Book of Amos and tell me what you see in the similarity.
I have read it.
I ain't reading nothing until you give me my PBA card like you promised.
I didn't promise you nothing. I don't got no PBA card.
Yes, you did. You said you got me. Last time I asked you, you said, yeah, I got you.
Oh, what's a PBA card?
Who are you talking to, me?
No. I'm not talking to Amos.
They don't even give out PBA cards anymore.
What is a PBA card?
Of course they do. I had one last year.
My dude, they don't give them. You know how you used to get like one or two you give to your family members or whatever else? They don't give them out like that no more.
No, obviously you gotta have a hookup, but that's why I was asking Amos because he.
Well, how do I get a PBA card? They sound valuable.
You know, I
live in New York.
It's from New York.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nah, I get definitely inspectors enough, Sister Hazy.
Like I said, it doesn't work as much anymore.
Nah,
But
man.
I hear you.
But I got something else I show NYPD if they want to put me over for my tents. They're like, oh, sorry, sir.
Do you pull out your honorary white man card? Is that what you pull out?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's good. That works.
Do you look white, Chucky? Could you pass if you?
No, he looks dark. He's dark.
Oh,
What do
shoot.
you know? I've never showed my face on it.
You're Dominican. Are you a white Dominican?
Huh?
I was gonna make a joke.
Don't do me like that.
Pensando vi otra vez. What you say?
I was gonna make a joke.
Don't do me like that.
It wouldn't be very funny.
That is hilarious. Listen,
But yeah.
people are
Almost
so.
Dominican, or
But no, I'm playing. But I'm playing though. I love my beautiful melanin skin. You know.
Yeah.
But nah, if I get pulled over, I got certain things I show law enforcement. You know?
Right, you got a PBA card. You said you was gonna give me one, but you haven't yet.
Nah, I don't got no PBA card. I got something better than the PBA card.
You got the shield. You got the shield.
Don't got a breast.
I got a brush.
he has his federal ID.
Circumcision.
Yeah.
But last
He
time,
just
last
whips
time
it out and be like, listen.
the last time,
Jewish right here. That's it. Come on.
last time,
I have it hanging from the fucking mirror.
last time I got pulled over.
I have the foreskin hanging from the mirror.
You're disgusting. Teddy. Oh, Teddy.
Funny as fuck, but it's
So actually, last time I got pulled over by the NYPD, right?
yeah.
So I'm driving. I got my tints are stupid, dog. I ain't gonna lie, they stupid, dog. But I have them, dog, for a reason, right? And anyway, I got them little cataracts. So anyway, I'm just playing. But they dark, so they pulled me over and whatnot. And when they run my name, you know, they get a phone call, right? So here it is. I blasted my bachata, like I'm cruising through East New York. You know what I mean? You know, I got my bachata blasting. I got my keeper on. So the cop looked at me like, yo, he was like, I don't know what's going on here. My man, I got this Jew here, blasting this bachata, windows dark. I get a phone call. I don't know who you are, but you have a nice night, sir.
I know the feeling.
What phone call would give you the ability to get out of a police encounter?
Wait, you're a Dominican Jew?
Yeah.
I got a little savvy.
Wow, I didn't even know that. I didn't know they existed. I learned
We
something
outside,
today.
bro.
What? That's Haitian Jews
You
too?
good to go?
I did not know. I was
You
50
would,
years
this
old.
is not sound crazy. You would not believe how many Jews fled to DR and Haiti after the Holocaust. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, Cuba.
I know there's Puerto Rican Jews. I seen Puerto Rican Jews all the time, but when I growing up, I never met a Dominican Jew.
Nah, we outside, bro. They heavy.
Same block as. Let me see. Matter of fact, I'm lying. I had Puerto Ricans. I was around Cubans. I'm trying to think who else.
And hey, yo, Mezza, you ever been to DR?
Yup. Hell yeah.
They got a synagogue in La Capital in Santo Domingo, and ironically, they got another one in Sosúa.
Listen, bro. When I go to the DR, I don't go to Santo Domingo. I go to where's that place with all the resorts? What's it called?
Punta Cana, either Florida.
Yeah, Punta Cana.
Yeah, so if you drive I think it's like an hour from there, you good. Yeah, if you drive like an hour from there, you got a town called Sosúa. Everybody knows Sosúa.
Huh? They have pretty large communities.
You too. But yeah, but now, if you drive to Sosúa, everybody know what go down to Sosúa. If you walk around the corner towards the beach, there's a nice little beautiful synagogue over there. Kind of fun.
Wait, Fatima, what kind of crazy ass PTR you got? That's mad funny.
Did I hear my name?
Huh?
Did I hear my name?
Yeah, I said, what kind of crazy PTR do you have? I saw some, got a bunch of black people on your PTRs.
What do you mean?
I could have making sure that I didn't just see what I saw.
Oh, those were like the previous first ladies. I posted.
What?
These were not black women, but
how I feel when I remember that I'm white.
what?
That's what you have in your PTR thing.
What? My PTR says nothing.
That, Habibi, you have it. I'm looking at it.
Screenshot it as a before. She might have changed it.
Oh. It says how I feel when I remember I'm white.
Refresh.
So how do you feel when you remember you're white?
But the PTR I had were the first ladies, like, in the past.
Hey, man, first ladies in this. You're
No. What are you talking about? This is me in the photo.
So you can see.
I think you're kissing a dog. What y'all talking about?
What?
Okay.
It's me holding a dog.
Oh?
Yeah, that's what I see.
I think you talk about my PTR before that. These were first ladies of America.
Oh, y'all got that pay app to see the lock screen.
Look at my PTR, y'all. How I feel when I remember that I'm white.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, that's mine too. Yeah.
So how do you feel when you remember that you're white?
No, I don't feel anything. But black people sometimes tell me that I'm white, so I like to post this when they tell me that I'm white, because they say it like it's a bad thing, and so yeah.
That white.
But you are white.
Yeah, okay. You want me to post it right now? Again? Because you say I'm white? What's wrong?
I mean, like, if you look at her, if this is her and her photo, she's white.
What's wrong with white? Like you say it's like you say there's something wrong with white.
Like white.
I'm actually North African.
But how
some of them North Africans are whiter than white people.
How does that work? Are you from Morocco, Algeria, Tunis?
Yeah, Tunisia.
So Tunisians are not white?
I've met Algerians as in a pale as motherfucker and a big ginger beards. So
guess what? I got family members that are pale. Doesn't make you white.
What makes you white then?
If you are North African, you are not European. Right?
You're not.
You're very close.
What? Europeans are the only white?
What about America? What about America?
Yeah,
there's no such thing as white in America.
North African saying that she's white.
No, I said that's white, and you said European.
Okay, at the end of the day, I'd love to know how Elon Musk is African American and you're white. Explain it all for me. Fatima, are you Muslim?
No.
You're not Muslim. With a name like Fatima?
Yeah, but
that's
you know Tunisia is. Bro, I'm not a troll. Shut the fuck up and let me talk, like, bitch.
Wow.
Yeah. So let me.
It's more like a bar with a basis up.
Shut the fuck up, you dumbass. Let me learn you something.
Wow.
You know that North Africans are actually Amazighs. They're not Arabs. They're just like Arabianized. But like ethnically they're Amazigh, not Arabs. Okay, that's all.
Some, because Moroccans would not say that.
No, Tunisia has more like pure Amazighs than Morocco.
The whole of North Africa is fucking melting pot.
Well, but shut the fuck up, bitch. Can you wait to talk?
Oh shit!
Like Morocco.
She sounds like a dude. So.
Yeah, I know I sound like a dude. I've heard that before, but it's okay. I don't care. So anyway, what I was gonna say. So Morocco does acknowledge the Amazigh culture. Teach the Tamazight languages, but Tunisia has more Amazigh, ethnically Amazigh people than Morocco. But they're oppressed and they don't want to teach the Amazigh culture and Tamazight language. But they're fighting for it.
Yo, Teddy.
What are you gonna say? I'm sorry, Chucky.
Oh my bad, brother Teddy.
I don't know, all of the Friends in Morocco. I grew up around a lot of North Africans, and most of them don't identify as white at all. So it was weird for me for you to say that you're white. Mm-hmm. They would laugh. They'd be like, "We're more African American than you."
No, but they say I'm white. That's what I'm saying. That's why I make. That's the joke. They call me white, so that's why I use this photo. When black people call me white, I use this photo. Like there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? It's a joke. Like
sorry, Chucky. What were you saying, bro? This man is talking too much.
No, I was just saying, like, in America. Oh, go ahead, Airplane.
No, I want to ask Hitler a question, if that's okay.
All right, I'm just gonna say this real quick. Teddy, in America, we don't have the concept of black and white anymore, man. We're just American.
Mm-hmm. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, right. Russ, Chucky.
I am black. All day. Love it.
What's black?
Black is a level of consciousness.
you know, races.
So when does someone lose consciousness if their parents admit?
Races are like actually.
Oh shit.
Earth.
But you have different types of blacks, though.
When do they lose their consciousness if their parents admit?
Well, let me ask you this:
there's so many mixed brothers out there and sisters that used to like consider themselves black, throw the N-word around, like, are they not allowed to do that?
It's kind of weird. Biracial folks kind of creep me out sometimes, because especially if they're white passing. I have a Jewish friend who's only black, like during Black History Month when he can make a couple $100, speaking at Jewish synagogues about the oppression that he suffers 1 month out of the year. And then he goes back to being white.
Yeah, that's a money-making month.
Yeah, that's all black Jewish people I know that are biracial. Go ahead.
So let me ask you this question, right? So since you said that, there's multiple classifications of black, what type of black are you? Are you black American or are you black Hispanic?
I am African American.
What's African about you? Dude, I don't like this terminology, African American. Most black Americans know nothing about their African lineage or tribe. Nothing.
Right, but my last name is Eze, which is a Nigerian last name.
That's why I said, what's African about you? That's what I said.
Everything. I have African citizenship.
Because, if we in the car together, Sister Eze, NYPD performs a car stop, they're going to say we Hispanic black. You know that, right?
Yeah, but that's all good. Listen, they can call you whatever they want to call you. As long as you're not putting no bracelets on me, as long as you make sure that my credentials are what they're supposed to be, you can kick rocks with open-toe sandals. I'm good.
Yes.
But there's some of us who've traveled. There's some of us, I don't, that's a good question for this room. How do you guys feel about these 23andMe tests, these DNA tests? Has anybody taken them, like Palestinian, like you said, North African, Fatima, and gotten a result that didn't make sense to them?
These DNA tests are not reliable because, like, 2 people sent like DNA of their pets, and they came back with bullshit.
Wait, say that again. That's some funny shit. They sent the DNA of their pets?
Yeah, a dog and some kind of lizard, and they came back with bullshit like places. So it's not reliable, it's fake.
I'm waiting for my results from mine, but I sent my first sample off. They said, look, it wasn't compatible for that testing. Like, I don't know, maybe I was doing something.
All right. Maybe
so I had to do it again. So I think they're a little bit thorough.
Maybe the dog will have some ethnicities. Who knows?
But no, I think maybe outside of America, you might be a bit liable. Because I said something about Jewish people claiming something as part of the DNA, wasn't it?
But I think legally, if your race is not known, you are white, Caucasian. Caucasian are for people who don't have a race or a thing. That's like really
Caucasian refers to.
Wait, fan. I have a question for you, brother. Are you from Iran?
used to be. Yeah.
Do you live there now, or do you live outside?
No, I live in Taiwan, Hsinchu, Taiwan.
Do you know Rada Pahlavi?
Oh yeah, that motherfucker. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't really. I honestly know nothing about him, but there's something in the news. He's saying it's time to get Iran back.
Yeah, he's
dreaming. He's dreaming.
He's go wet dream. He's having
This just came out. Like I honestly have no clue who he is. But
come on, think about it. He's a king who doesn't believe in God. Who figures how crazy that one is?
Does he have?
No, he's not even the king. His father was the king, right?
Yeah, he's a prince who doesn't.
He's not a king. He's barely a prince. What do you mean, king?
Yeah,
If you are not the God, if you are not Muslim, then why you are the king? I mean, these are that much lunatic. They don't even understand.
He's basically a Zionist, to be fan.
He's crazy.
I just shared a clip from Instagram. It's a very interesting clip between Ben Gvir and another minister, I believe. They are fighting.
I saw that earlier. I was laughing. Crazy.
Very funny.
Yeah.
So this society, this genocidal society in Israel that includes the black rabbi, I think it's imploding from within. I'm just praying that it implodes from within, so that humanity can be saved. Every human being can be saved. Every child can be saved.
Breaking news. The supreme leader of Iran is dead.
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, you get they just informed you through Telegram, right? Rabbi. Stupid dumb
How
fuck.
old is this clip?
Sorry?
Black Rabbi's here.
Morning, sorry, what did you say?
Morning. This clip is trending on social media. Honestly, I don't even know how old it is.
I'm just trying to find out when the time period is of this. But I had a question for Black
I think
Rabbi.
it's recent because they're talking about attacking Iran. So I think it's recent.
And besides Eze, how many Jews are in the room? Because it's a pretty valid question. And Chucky. Sorry, Chucky. I see Amos. So.
Black Rabbi is made in China. I don't know if that counts.
So I show like a poll here. When I've heard Jews referred to as white, they say I'm not white, I'm Jewish. So I'm just curious why your emphasis of pointing out that you're black if you're Jewish.
Who are you talking to?
Talking to Black Rabbi.
Oh. Because if he wasn't black, he wouldn't be a rabbi.
Jew is not a fucking race. It's coming.
But if you ask them and you call them white, they say they're not white. They say they're Jewish.
I don't know. Like they obviously they are not like in the a biblical time. They are not white.
Okay, so number one.
They would have been like brown, bronze.
It's not cool. It's not cool. It's not cool to be white anymore. That's number one, right? So like if you hear a person say,
"That's interesting."
I'm not white, I'm Jewish, that's because it's not cool to be white.
But that was bro.
It's definitely not cool to be Jewish.
Black Rabbi, I have a very serious question for you, and be honest with your answer.
Your voice sounds manipulative.
For those of us that don't really care.
I hear manipulation in your throat.
No, I'm being very serious. Black Rabbi. Very serious question.
Manipulation.
Are you sleeping well at night nowadays?
There's an idea in Judaism that there's a very powerful thing studying Torah after midnight, and for some reason God keeps waking all of us up. I wonder what the message is.
I think Iran wakes you up, not God.
Brother, Black Rabbi.
Iran did wake us up.
Black Rabbi. Iran wakes you up when it puts eyes of the Quran.
Iran wakes them up to study the Torah. Is that right, Black Rabbi?
Can you hear me out?
All of Israel.
Can you hear me, Black Rabbi?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Have you said the national anthem today for the Pledge of Allegiance?
No, I said morning blessings.
You could say, like, if you say the Pledge of Allegiance, it will stop, right?
No, but you realize Pledge of Allegiance doesn't do anything for the universe.
It does, man. If you after you say your morning prayers, if you stand and salute the American flag and say the national anthem loud, that the bombings will stop.
Let's not troll.
No.
Chucky,
Chucky,
I pray to God that slavery is removed from your body.
Not to the states. So why would he salute the American flag?
Because he's still in. Because even though he stays in Israel, his black ass is American, and he needs to start pledging allegiance to my damn flag.
But
that's what it is.
He wants to.
He made it very clear several times that his allegiance is not to the states. Now let me ask him this question: Black Rabbi, are you loyal to Israel or to the United States?
Dun, 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 dun.
He's answered this before, Fayaz. He's loyal to Israel. He said that.
He's running for the U.S. president.
Yeah, you can't run as a president if you're loyal to Israel. Yo, Fayaz, I have a question.
Actually, they'll probably make you more compatible.
Let me just make a point.
Then I have a question for you, Fayaz.
Yeah, sure. After I'm done talking. His loyalty is to Israel, but he retains his American passport, which will permit him to run for president. If he's eligible, he'll run for president on the basis of that. And in any case, U.S. is controlled by Israel. So it's better that an Israeli citizen becomes the president of the United States rather than an American citizen becoming a president of the United States and become a poodle of Israel.
Well, his fat ass is only running to the president.
So basically, if he becomes president of the U.S., he'll just be a puppet for the white man.
Let's not put that in the air, because he's never going to be president.
But Mazi, ask your question.
Fayaz. Me, Mazi. Fayaz, did you hear about the Mossad agents that got caught in Iran? They're being tied to the missiles that are being shot to Israel?
I saw
I read that, and they are being caught everywhere, and I think they are being imprisoned or killed or whatever it is, but they are being searched and caught. Yes.
No, but have you heard that they've been tied? They've been tied them to the missiles that they're shooting off to Israel. Have you heard about that?
The one that you're referring to, they caught one Mossad agent, and they tied him on a missile, and they sent that missile to the building organization, whatever department that he was working in.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Okay.
Did they actually do that?
To be honest with you, I don't really know if they did that.
Even if it's not true, it's still hilarious.
That is, yeah.
I mean, I believe it to be true to be honest. Pretty brutal.
No, I think they should do it. When if you remember, all these American senators would go to Israel and write their names and kill them. Things like kill them in the missiles. They will write kill them, get them, and come back. So I think it's a better idea to tie the Mossad agents to the missiles and send them to Iran. To Israel.
I feel like you would need to put multiple around one missile, otherwise it won't be so aerodynamic. It might miss its target.
Wait, can I ask you guys a question? And this is like a real question. Like sometimes I might joking around, but this is a serious question.
No. We don't take you seriously at all.
Nothing you say.
No, this is serious. This is serious.
You joke around with
just because you say it's serious, it doesn't mean they're going to take you seriously.
We mock you. We don't fuck with you. We mock you.
Okay, fine. So the point is like this. When you look at Israel and how they dealt with Hezbollah, right? Their method, right? They went in, they targeted leadership. Once they targeted leadership, then they went after aerial defense, and then once
Hezbollah is not 80 million. You fucking
listen. I'm just asking a question. So when I look at how Israel engaged in Iran, it's the same method, right?
Hezbollah is still there. You fucking you people are taking your military out of Gaza and sending them to the border of Lebanon because you know that something could happen.